How's it going, everybody? I'm here with North Alabama hiking today, and I'm going to talk about the Bankhead National Forest and Sipsey Wilderness area. And I'm going to give you guys some safety tips, some information, and all those good things. And I'm doing this video a little differently. I'm doing a voiceover with some pictures because it's easier for me to upload like this and then to do an actual video myself. So I'll show you some pictures of different waterfalls in different areas. But first of all, I'm going to talk about safety. And the thing about Bankhead National Forest is it is a really large area. And although it has many great hikes, it is in a secluded area. There's very little cell phone coverage. Uh, you do have some in some spots. Uh, However, you do get pretty good GPS coverage. So that's a benefit. Um, but it's, they have several people every year, or a handful of people every year that get lost, and rescue people have to come looking for them. And there's been recent examples of that. And a lot of people they just get lost, or they don't know where they're going. And we'll talk a little bit about that. And I'll probably even do a video about hiking safety in the future. But for this one, just, let somebody know where you're going. Be specific, because you don't want to get stuck in Bankhead overnight. Carry extra supplies. Uh, Carry more water than what you're actually going to need. Carry a little extra food just in case something does happen. And again, I will do a separate video on hiking safety eventually. So, the Sipsey Wilderness area, we'll talk about that first. And the Sipsey Wilderness area was actually, there was actually a lot of legal things that had to be done to get that dedicated a wilderness area. And that actually ended up changing what the status quo is for wilderness areas in this country. And they used to be even more particular than they are now about that. So that area has been, it has not really been touched by man at all. And other than, hikers and campers and things. And they were able to get it dedicated a wilderness area, I think, in the 1970s. And so it is open to the public. It's a 30,000, I think, something odd acres inside the Bankhead National Forest. So many, many miles of trails, many great waterfalls. And I will talk about some of those. The Bankhead National Forest area, it's really, really huge forest area. Many waterfalls. That's one of the main attractions that people go to in those areas, is all the waterfalls. They nickname it the Land of Thousand Waterfalls, and for good reason. But I'll talk about a few of them. If you want better information on the Bankhead National Forest, please go to my website at www.northalabamahiking.com. And to help you navigate, go to the trails link. There will be some drop-down menus. When you do the drop-down menu, it'll say trails by location or waterfall trails. There's various options. You can click on the waterfall trails and go to the Alabama waterfalls drop-down menu and select Bankhead Forest, or the Bankhead page, and or you can go trails by location, Northwest Alabama, in the Bankhead National Forest page. And I'll cover a few waterfalls that you see on the screen. Miles Mill Falls, Turkey Foot Falls. Those are two popular spots and relatively easy hikes. There's not an official trail to them, but there's a very good beaten path because so many people visit them. The location of that, I have GPS locations of every waterfall that I visited there, and I think usually of the starting points. So those are on there. But to find that, you go where the Sipsey Recreation Area is. Drive past it, go across the Sipsey River Bridge, maybe a half mile, and on the left there you'll see the very first forest road you see on the left is where people park on the side of the road. You walk across the other side of the road, and there's entered in the woods, and you'll be able to hear Miles Mill Falls. And once you reach Miles Mill, about another 5-minute walk further down the creek, as you'll get to Turkeyfoot. Those are a couple of off trail. Fall Creek Fall, very nice waterfall. Most people start at the Borden Creek Trailhead. You can start at the Sipsey Recreation Area on the Trail 209, but you would have to cross over Borden Creek, and it's rather deep in the section. So a lot of people start at the Borden Creek Trailhead. And again, you can find that location on my website. And the reason being, there's a bridge right there. It's a footbridge, and people walk over Borden Creek to the other side. And there's an unofficial trail that will take you along that side of the canyon. It connects to Trail 209. And then Trail 209 will take you the rest of the way to Fall Creek Fall. It's a very, very large waterfall as far as the height. It's very scenic, and you'll really enjoy it. But it's about a 5.5 mile round trip, so I do bring plenty of water and food and things like that. Eagle Creek Falls and Deer Skull Falls. Those are two waterfalls that are kind of difficult to get to, and as far as there's no official trail. You have to trek through across Eagle Creek back and forth several times, and because it's in a canyon, and to be able to find a good path, you have to go back and forth across the creek and go down the creek, and it'll take you to the top of Eagle Creek Falls. So wear good waterproof shoes. After you reach Eagle Creek Falls, you go further down Eagle Creek, walk further down the creek, and you will end up at Deer Skull Falls, which is very scenic. It's two waterfalls that kind of meet together. But again, they're one of the more difficult ones to get to. The GPS location is on my website. Caney Creek Falls. Caney Creek Falls is on the south side of the Bankhead Forest. It may actually be in Winston County. Can't remember. But the location, you can Google it, or it's on my website. Very limited parking. They've gotten strict on the parking in that area, from people parking on the side of the road or parking on private property. So there's only really room for about 3, maybe 4 cars. So you'll have to try to time it when there won't be a lot of cars there. It's not a bad hike. It's about a 1-mile hike down to Caney Creek Falls. It's very scenic. It's got kind of a pool at the bottom of it. A lot of people will get in there and swim around. But it's very nice, very scenic. The only bad part about it is the hike back out. It's uphill for a good bit of the way back. Sogahoghty Falls. That's a waterfall that's more on the eastern side of Bankhead Forest. Again, that location's on my website. It's about a 4-mile round trip. It's not a terrible hike. It's relatively flat. You're in a canyon the whole time, so getting lost is not real likely in that area. But Sogahoghty Falls is a nice large waterfall, and so very scenic if you get a chance to go see it. There's Holmes Chapel Falls, which I don't have a picture of on here, but if you know where to go, it's very, very short walk to it. So, in short, there's a lot of great waterfalls in that area. my website has a lot of information on how to get to them and all that. But just remember, think safety.